Hello guys, and welcome to this Volkswizard video. Today we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to fit this OSRAM XENARC LED driving headlight kit to this Mk6 Golf. Now, as you can see, the standard daytime driving lights on this car are pretty boring. They're just a couple of yellow halogen bulbs, but when we fit this XENARC kit, we're going to get two sort of V-shaped LEDs per headlamp in the style of the Mk6 Golf R. As well as looking cool, we're also going to get much better lighting at night because it's got a HID dips and main beam, and also the side lights use the same elements as the running lights, just a little bit less bright for nighttime use or dusk use. So you get better side lights as well. And the whole point of the video really is just to show you how easy it is to do it. And the selection of tools you need, I'll just show you, is relatively minimal. We've got a T30 and the T25 bit there, all the way around, 30 and 25, a ratchet with a little extension, something to hold the bit, a flat blade screwdriver which is optional, a 10mm spanner for undoing the battery and redoing the battery, and a plastic wedge is always handy when doing this kind of work. So without any further ado, let's get down to business and see how easy this really is. Right, let's begin with turning the steering all the way to the left so we can get into the wheel arch. So down. Put the handbrake's on, and I'll turn it off. Okay, in the wheel arch we've got a few screws we need to undo. So I'm just going to put this on here. So these ones are the T25s, they're a bit smaller than the ones under the bonnet. I need a bit of an extension because the bumper is in the way, so that's it. Make sure it's on unlock or release, that's that way around, brilliant. Okay, one there. One there. One there. One there. And there is another awkward one we'll come to in a second. Pop that off. Doing this one-handed is not particularly easy, but hopefully when you come to do it, it'll be a lot quicker than this. Generally these on a Mk6, because they're still quite new cars, are not going to be rusty, so you shouldn't have any problems. Just don't go losing them into a tyre. There it is. And just try and keep all your screws organised so you know which ones go where, because it's really annoying. Some of them are a bit different, and putting them in the wrong bit just is a bit unprofessional really. Now up here there's a vertical one that holds the bumper to the wing, so just there, that's the top one. And I think this one's a bit different to the others. Let's have a look. Yeah, it feels it is, 'cause it's got a washer that's on it that keeps turning when I'm trying to unwind it. Let's see what we've got. Here we go. Yeah, slightly different, so it's got a loose washer on it. That one goes vertically upwards from the bumper into the wing. So 5 of those, 4 easy ones, 1 slightly harder. Put those on the table. That's that done. So now we're going to turn the steering the other way around and repeat on the other side. Okay, back secure. I'm using a kneeling pad. Apart from being good for your knees, it's also good to stop you getting covered in the damp. Alright, so again, I'm just going to loosen these now with this and then unwind them without the ratchet. Let's just see if we can get in there. Yep. Try not to hit your wheel if you can avoid it. Okay, that's our washer one out. Pop that off again. Right, so just come out by hand, that one will? Or will it? Yep. Okay, so again we've got 5, one of which has got a separate washer on it there. We've got a few screws underneath the bumper that we need to get to, which involves lying down. So do we need extension? I don't think we do. Let's pop that off there, put that on there, keep those 5 separate. Right, well, let's start here. It's a bit difficult to show you this one, so trust me, the bumper is screwed to the radiator support panel, so when you lift the bonnet you see a big plastic frame that goes top to bottom on the car, and the bumper, sort of the lower valance bit, is screwed to it, and it's just the same T25 screws as before. I don't think there are any different types on this one, so it's pretty easy. That's what they look like. So same with the ones in the wing, or the other ones, the normal ones in the wing, not the top one. And there's one right at the back of the bumper where there's a little flap that's part of the wheel arch liner. So that's that one. 1 to 4 so far. Change position. Okay, yeah, the one right at the back here. Got that. One more. Here underneath the towing eye cover. You know, I think that's it. That's 6. So 4 in the centre, 2 on the side, and it's already looking quite loose. So that's good. Either all the lying on the floor that you need to do, which is always nice. I could have done this on a ramp, but I just want to show you how easy it is. So we've got try and keep these, I like to try and keep everything in the position of where it came off the car. So I've got the wheel arch there. We've got a wheel arch there, and these screws are going to be the ones from underneath, and then you can't go too far wrong then. 1, 2, 3, 4. As I say, just don't lose screws and get them stuck in your tyres. So that's the underside there. Okay, brilliant. That is the hardest bit done now. Well, in theory. So what we're trying to do is get the bumper off, which means to get to the last 2 securing screws for the bumper, we need to take the grille off. Now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, they're T25, so we don't need a wide range of tools at all. Don't need an extension on this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, put these back, put these on here so we know where they've come from. So these are kind of upper middle, so that's that. Brilliant. Now this could be a potentially slightly tricky bit because the grills can be a bit stubborn on Mk6 Golf. They're clipped down here into the bumper, and this one's already a bit loose, so that's good. So to pull that off. They're not normally that easy, I have to say, so yeah, they take a bit of encouragement. That's why I've got the plastic wedge. So anyway, put that somewhere safe so you're not going to stand on it. And what we've got left now is in here, again, these look like T25s. So this is the bumper, and so this is attached to this. So to undo this, we need to undo those. So let's grab the ratchet again. Where was that? Right here, there. That's one. Okay guys, now we've got all the screws out the front bumper. All that leaves really is to pull it off. Easier said than done because there are some clips that are a bit awkward to undo in this area here. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. There's also a plug for the fog lamp, and yeah, I don't think we need to undo both of them. Sometimes you can just get away with not undoing them at all and leaving the bumper resting on the ground there, though we need to put something underneath it ideally, so I think we'll undo it this time. So right, I'll begin by trying to pull this corner off. So I've got all the screws out. Now, can you see in there, there's the bumper's cut so it's got a tab, and the tab locates into a plastic clip that's on the bumper. And if you just pull it, you're just going to rip the plastic. So you really need to encourage it. I tend to just move across to the other side. See if this one's a bit easier, because once you get one end off, yeah, see that one's come off. Right, so the bumper's free. Now at the moment, this car doesn't have headlamp washers, which makes life easier. If you've got those, you're going to have to undo the hose to it right now and catch the water in a bucket. All we've got is a fog lamp here. Now the bumper's resting on this mat, just make it rest a bit better. And hopefully one-handedly I'll be able to undo this fog lamp. So it's got a clip there, push that in, pull it down. That's the bumper released now with no strain on it. Now all we're doing is fitting headlights, so we don't need to move it anywhere else. Leave it there, it's nice and safe. It shouldn't get damaged. I've left a screw on there, so let's put that here. Yeah, that's from the front upper bumper mounting. Okay, so what we've got now are the headlamps. Now because we're going to work on the electrics, we need to undo the battery, so push that in, pull that out of the way. Get your trusty 10mm spanner, and as always when working on the electrics of a car, you should undo the earth lead, which is there. I always put the earth lead by the body. I always like to remember that by thinking that if you're going to have a crash, it's probably better the earth lead hits the body than the live one, so there is a logic to it. So we'll just pull that up. Make sure you've got a radio code, but if it's standard, you shouldn't need it. Put that on there so it doesn't touch it. Right, so that's done. So we've got no power now on the car. So the headlamps are attached with this one, that one, and there is another one down there. I don't know if you can see that one just there by the airbox, and that one there. There's also a power plug on the back of it we'll need to undo. They can be a bit awkward, so let's do that first. So just reaching down there, I'll just rip my glove. Reaching down there. Yeah, there's a tab on it. They're a bit awkward. You really have to release the plug and then the tab on the plug, then push it in and pull it out, which is easier said than done, but that one's come out. You can alternatively undo the headlight, pull it forward, and then you've got a bit more room to work in, but that one's worked. So before we forget this side, let's do it. So I don't know if you can see that one, there's a bit more room here. That's the wiring going into the headlight, that's the tab there, and so you put your thumb on that, hear it click, and then just pull. So that's off, that's brilliant. So that just leaves, same as the other side, two there, one down there, and another one there. These are T30s now, so let's upgrade our tools. Okay guys, I've actually upgraded the extension so it's a bit longer, so instead of the shorter one you actually do need one that's a bit longer to get behind the headlight. Running a T30 bit on it now, which should stay in place. Let's go and do the headlight then. So 2 on the top. Really easy. 1, 2. And this is what the extension's for, so down here. There's another one, and then there's that one. That's 4, let's move on to the other one. Okay, that's all 4 loose, so I can just do these by hand now. And number 4. Same on this side, so we do this with our fingers. 1. Make sure you put them somewhere safe so you don't lose them or they fall down onto the under tray of the car, because that would be annoying. So 2, 3. And down there, do that one by hand, so just by the fuel filter. Actually it's a little bit tight, so hopefully you can see that one. And none of these are really awkward, you just need the right length extension, otherwise you'll be hitting the bodywork when you're trying to turn. That's 4. Okay, that's all 4 undone then. So can I do it with 2 hands, but they're not particularly heavy. Just pull it out, and there you go. Put it somewhere safe. And again with this side. There we go. So have a quick look at the difference. Both are very high quality. I mean, you know, Volkswagen lights are going to be high quality. They're made by Hella. These are made by OSRAM. They're a similar standing company when it comes to quality. So yeah, brilliant. It's just lost a screw behind the headlight here, so we'll just get that and put it there. Okay, so that's both headlights removed. So yeah, there's that plug. You can see there's a tab. Push that down and then just pull it. If it's a bit stubborn, push the tab down, push it into the headlamp and then pull it out, and that always releases it. What I've done before though is undo the headlight so you've got a bit more room, pop a flat blade screwdriver under there, be careful not to break it, and then that will release it as well. But just be careful not to break the tab because you don't want your headlight plug coming loose at night. Okay, so that's it. So brilliant. On to the next one, which is the fitting of the new headlights. Now, these have got a fly lead that goes directly to the battery terminal, so that's one difference with the standard headlight. So we need to route that around, particularly on the passenger side, across the driver's side, sorry, across to the passenger side where the battery is. Okay, we've got the headlight in position, we've got the plug away from the, actually yeah, we'll just run it around there. Just make sure the wiring doesn't get in the way. Run it around the back of the mounting so it's not in the way of the body of the lamp. And give it a wriggle, be gentle with it. Now the tricky bit you can't see from the top is that there are 2 lugs on the body that need to align with these holes. So there's one there, can you see that? And there, just underneath, that's a bit high. So we'll pull that out a bit more. There are some grooves that the light needs to sit into to locate properly. I think I've just dropped down a bit there, so that's good. And That one's mounted now onto its lug. That one's still a bit out. Okay, that's in now, so you can see the plastic's in the middle of the hole. So that gives it a locator down there, so it can't be in the wrong place. And then just push it a bit further back. That's sticking out now, so you've got that there. And there, so that's it. They're not designed to be adjusted in position. These probably can be adjusted when they build the car so that it all sits properly, but when that's right, so there's no adjustment needed. That's bang on. So we've got this cable now that runs across the front of the car now. As you probably know, there are radiator fans that rotate at high speed at the front of a modern car, so you need to make sure that when you run this, you run it away from them. So it's probably easier to somehow get it around behind the air scoop here. And then underneath I mean, you know, if you're doing this properly, just grab a few cable ties. They don't come with a pack, but you can buy them very cheaply from a motor factor. And then a nice little trick to tuck it out of the way is to run it through this gap. There's a gap at the bottom corner of the battery casing there that you can feed it through. Okay, I'll pop the casing forward, so it's just pulled forward, and then gave me enough room to get my hand in, and then there's the cable. So there isn't an awful lot of cable, to be honest, but if you're just careful with the way you route it, it should be fine. Just keep it on top of the radiator, get a few cable ties. If you can run it under the airbox, so much the better. You're going to save all this run around the corner here, and then I say pop it under this frame, which isn't solid, and as it comes exactly where it needs to be, there. So that's one of them mounted and connected. Obviously you need to put your screws back in, but we'll come to that in a sec. Let's do the next one. Okay, so I've got a lot of cable on this side that's spare, but it's the same principle. Run it under there. And as I say, if you put your hand in, you can pull that forward. I'll just put my hand in there and grab it, I think. So that's it. So that's number 2. Okay, so they're both on the live terminal, which we haven't disconnected because we've disconnected the earth, so that's all you need to do for safety. And then just feed that in, so you need to make it clear of the body so the lamp's not going to hit it. Make sure the cable's not jammed anywhere. Okay, that's roughly in position. Again, you've got the lugs you've got to consider down the bottom, and just try and slide it in. Doesn't take too much force. I'm doing it one-handed, so that's not difficult. Tap it in so the lugs are located. Again, that one's in, yeah, that's good. Okay, that's good. All the screw holes line up, and our wiring, just check yours isn't mashed up. So that's loose, that comes straight off there. That's all good, that's on there. So just tidy that up. It's a nice black cable, so it looks factory, but just, do your best to keep it tidy with a few cable ties. Okay guys, just a question of getting the 4 screws in place now, so make sure it's located still. Both lugs in place. One there, I think I'm going to start with the harder one. So yeah, it's just there. It shouldn't take much force to get these threading in. They're nice big threaded bolts, so just hand tighten them for now. Final 2, the easy ones. There we go. That's 3, and that's 4. Okay, just have a look at that. Just make sure they're lined up nicely. There's no harm in applying a little bit of pressure to tighten them on, just make it fit a little bit better, but not much. That's it, it should all be pretty much lined up. Anyway, so yeah, both lugs are in, that's great. Again, just check this over, yeah, everything's fine there. Okay, so we've got 4 screws then to go on this side. Now I'm going to use this magnetic pickup tool, not because you need it, but because I'm holding a camera in one hand and it's really hard to do this without it, so that's just to get it into that hole there. Just be careful not to drop that, because you might find that it gets stuck on the under tray and then you'll be in trouble. But if it falls to this side of the chassis leg, then it should just fall on the floor, but just try not to drop it in the first place. Okay, so those are the top two in place. Then we're going for the third, and just push it into position. Make sure your legs are still aligned, which they are. Yep. And finally, number 4. At this point, I should point out that you can choose whether you want dynamic indicators like you see on modern Audis, or a more traditional flashing indicator, and you can choose which one you want by pressing this red button on the back of the headlamp. Don't know if you can just see it where the tip of my finger is. Now, OSRAM say you should set that before you install it, but it's really hard to get the power to the light and then see which one you prefer, so it's not impossible to reach it. I'm just putting my finger in and I'm on it. So, can you hear that? So I wouldn't worry about it until you've actually installed it, and then you can turn them on and see what you like, but I think you're going to want dynamic anyway. So yeah, that's that side, and I think it's even easier on this side. Probably going from the top with the right finger. Yeah, you can hear that. So yeah, don't worry about that until you've installed it. So we've got them in place now. Nip up the screws with your ratchet and make sure they're secure, and that's it. So all we need to do now is put the bumper on. Well, you've seen the process, just reverse it. It's really straightforward. There's no point in me showing you that again. Just make sure you plug the fog light in if you haven't done it. The screen wash, make sure it's clipped on properly, the hose for that, because it comes off the bottom of the tank just here. And push the bumper on, put the 5 screws in each side and put the 6 screws on the bottom, and that's it. The bumper, you've got the 2 on top as well, sorry, and then you've got the grille which clips on, and then put the screws in the top of there, and that is all done. I'm not going to show you that now in detail, but you can see it on the other camera as I do it right now. Okay guys, we just need to get the power connected now to each headlamp. So we've run the cables from each headlamp to the battery. I've put them through the casing of the battery, so they've come out by the positive terminal, and we just need to connect them to that. Now OSRAM suggests you undo the nuts and put them on the bolt and then do the nut up. Sounds simple, but we've had to change this nut and bolt because we had a problem with that, and you can see what the problem is on the earth terminal here. It won't wind off the bolt, and when it does, it damages the nuts and you're in a lot of trouble then. So what I'd suggest is, if you can, just leave that don't disturb it, just get another 10mm nut, try and thread it onto the shaft of the bolt, and then put the terminals on like that. We've already done that on this one, and we've got a bit more length as well, so we're going to use a couple of washers to do that. So pop that on there. It's not easy doing this one-handed. And then finish it off with a washer as well, just to make it nice and secure. Thread your 10mm on there, that goes on beautifully, and tighten it up. Now this needs to be secure, obviously, because it's your headlights, and you don't want them going off in the dark while you're driving down the road. We can tighten that up later. Don't forget to put the earth lead back on, so that's just simply a case of pushing it on and nipping it up with your 10mm spanner. Again, that's just as important as well. You don't want to jolt while you're driving, causing your electrics to all go dead. So again, I'll nip that up later when I've got two hands, but that, when it comes to the power connections, is all you need to do. Okay guys, as you can see, I've fitted the OSRAM XENARC LED driving conversion to this Mk6 Golf. At the moment, the ignition's on, the headlamp switch is off, but because the Mk6 Golf has got daytime running lights, you get bulb on all the time. Now normally there are those horrible yellow bulbs, but because we've got this new OSRAM kit in, we've got these beautiful LEDs. Now, as I said before, they look a bit like those on the Mk6 Golf R. They're not identical, but they don't look wrong. They look to me like something Volkswagen might have fitted to the car themselves. But it's not all about the daytime running lights, so let's get it onto dip beam. This is what you drive on normally at night, and show you where you're going to really see benefits driving at night. So in the top left hand corner there, we've got the HID section, and that's got a xenon bulb which gives a lot more brighter, a lot more whiter light than a normal halogen bulb, and gives a better spread of light as well. So if you're driving a lot at night, so you're commuting, then not only do these lights look cool because you've still got the LED bits on, but you get the benefits of a Xenon conversion as well. And it's perfectly legal because the bulb doesn't produce enough light to require headlamp washers and the self-leveling which some factory systems come with. So that's it. There's main beam as well, of course, that uses the same bulb, so I'll show you that, but it's not massively different, although it will be, of course, if you're driving. So that's main beam on. It uses the same bulb, it's just there's a shutter inside the headlamp that diverts the light upwards and towards the centre of the car. So there we go. Now the other thing that obviously is cool on these is a dynamic indicator function. So let's just pop the hazards on there. There we go. Right then. Okay, currently we've got them set up as normal indicators, so they're using every bulb for every flash. If we pop the bonnet, this could be a bit difficult with one hand, but let's give it a go. I will show to you how you can choose whether you want the traditional flash that we've got now, or whether you prefer the dynamic indicator you normally see on an Audi. Now, there's a red button, you've seen this before in the previous footage, at the back of the headlight there, you can get to it quite easily. So now we've pressed that and the indicator's illuminating in sequence from the inside out. If you look at the other one, that's just a traditional flash. So I don't know which one I'd prefer really, but I'd probably swap them around every so often if I got bored. I definitely wouldn't have one left and one right different to the other, but yeah, you get the picture. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. It's a bit different to my normal videos because I don't think I've done any sort of workshop videos yet like this. But yeah, it's a great kit. It's a really high quality kit because it's made by OSRAM, a German company. It doesn't look wrong on your Volkswagen. It looks cool in the daytime. It gives you better illumination at night time. It's safer as a result of that. So it's a bit of a win-win situation. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you for the next one soon. Cheers.